We're the huge movie fanatics, and we are here to review Paranormal Activity. This is a movie that is truly a love it or hate it kind of movie. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that I am not a fan of shaky cam horror, found footage horror movies.
Found footage.
But there are three exceptions, and three of them are probably the most famous ones that are around. Cloverfield, I think, is a pretty good example, and that works really, really well. I think that might be the best of the bunch. Blair Witch Project was so damn original, and like that's my personal favorite of the found footage movies. Like it was so original, nobody had done that before, and even they even convinced IMDb that those were real people and that it was a documentary of found footage. Like, as silly as that sounds now, like back in the day, people thought that was real, and that was just true talented filmmaking and great performances. So we have, after a series of lesser movies, we have Paranormal Activity, which the first time I saw it, I was not a huge fan. I came out of the theater and I was like, well, that was alright. I still don't think it's particularly scary. But as far as found footage things go, I thought it was kind of well done. But I wasn't insanely blown away. When the second movie came out, I decided to refer, because once I see one, I have to see all.
Jesus, that's why sequels do so good.
Yeah, right. I'm the reason.
You're the reason they keep making this shit.
Yeah.
So you saw.
So
yeah.
I rewatched it before I saw Paranormal 2, and upon the second viewing, I saw things that I didn't see the first time around, and I started watching it as a performance piece. Now, Katie Featherton, who is the lead actress in the movie, she is extraordinary. Like, that is one of the best performances I've seen in a movie in ages. Like, she is just incredible. I was blown away, and like I don't know how I didn't notice this the first time. And I think probably because I was so distracted by the shakiness of the movie, I couldn't focus on what was actually going on in the frame. Once I was watching it and recognizing her insane ability to give this performance, I was taken, and I'm going to give the movie 3.5 stars. It's not really that scary. It has moments where it kind of goes there, but like, I don't know, I'm not huge into those kind of scary movies. But that's it.
What kind of those kind of?
Like the ghost story things. Like, I think they can be done well. I just don't think this one was well done under that respect. But
your stars are based on what?
My stars are based on her performance, the overall look of the movie. I think it's kind of interesting, and generally the way that it was made in some respects, I think I really liked. But yeah, both, and it's not just her performance. The guy as well. I don't remember what his name is, but he did a really good job too. He's not quite as good as her, but like that's what took me, and I really, really liked this movie upon the second viewing, and it's unfortunate that it took a second viewing for me to recognize the quality that is the movie. But I'd give it 3.5. I'm gonna hand it over to you now.
All right. Yeah, I'm not particularly a fan, or actually, I'm very not a fan of found footage movies. I think what they enable is what they enable people to do is basically untalented filmmakers. They enable untalented filmmakers to make a movie. Is kind of what they do.
I agree.
And I think that it's basically, if you want to make a movie but you don't have the talent, then make a found footage movie, because anyone can do that. Mm-hmm. When I saw Blair Witch, I was kind of pissed off because I was pissed off at the success, but I figured that the only reason it did any as good as it did, and I think I'm right, is because a lot of people thought it was real.
Yeah.
The people going to see it thought it was real.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
And that's the only reason why it did any good. And you can kind of, was further evidenced when the year later the sequel came out and no one saw it.
I like the sequel actually. I'm just going to put that out there, but anyway.
Very briefly. So yeah, the one thing I did like about Blair Witch, of course, if you've seen some of the other reviews, I Spit on Your Grave review that we did, is that I'm an outdoors kind of person. So the only thing I liked about Blair Witch was the fact that they were out in the woods.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about Blair Witch. It says nothing about the movie or anything like that. I guess the idea of found footage at the time was something that I don't know if anyone had
Nobody
really
had
even done it before,
yeah.
so, or at least that anyone had seen on that scale, so in those terms, you know, but yeah. But so going to Paranormal Activity, so it's been like, what, almost 10 years, if not, what, 10 years to the year almost of
It was
Blair Witch?
9 years between them, yeah.
So you know, there's been arguably more, you know, some more shot on or found footage movies in between
Like
Blair Witch
Diary
and
of the Dead
and yeah, and Paranormal Activity. And my only question is, you know, why people, I don't know if it was the same thing again where they thought it was real when they saw when Paranormal Activity
a lot
did
of people
so
didn't
well.
think it was real.
But then how do you explain how the success of the second one? They don't think the second one's real.
Some people they totally buy into it. Like,
Jesus
that's what makes me
Christ.
curious about, like, do people think Cloverfield is real? Because, like,
Well, no,
but,
I don't think they could, because the Cloverfield is different from these three.
Yeah.
For me, because it's much more of a Hollywood thing than an independently made thing. So I got to tell you, man, what I knew what I was getting into when I saw a Paranormal Activity. I was able to see it for free, so otherwise I would not have seen it. So I saw it on DVD, and I sat down and I said, you know what, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do the whole thing. Otherwise, when I bitch, I can't. You know, I can't. How can you bitch unless you've seen the whole thing? So I got to tell you, I mean, it was worse than I could have ever imagined. I think for my money, this is my opinion. Paranormal Activity is the most unoriginal, stupid piece of anything that has the word movie associated with it, and I was shocked when I saw it, and
the plot is exactly the Blair Witch Project, taken out of the woods and put in a house. Like,
well,
it is shocking.
I can't remember, but how is the footage? I mean, how is the footage? How do they present that footage? Is it being found or what? I don't understand.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like these are.
I can't even remember.
The movie opens with the dude having just bought this camera, and he's like, "Look what I bought," and she's like, "Did you just really spend?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And so like it's all videotape from there.
I see.
The sequels are kind of weird as to how they tie in the found footage aspect of the second one, anyway.